I'm Duncan Gibb, General Manager of SCIRT in my day job, but I'm here today as a representative of the Canterbury Rebuild Safety Charter group, which is a group that's really focused on trying to ensure that all of the people that are involved in the rebuild, both those working on it and the public that are impacted by it, go home safe every day. So I'll be talking this morning briefly about the Safety Charter Awareness Tool and how that has identified for us that we needed to talk about this issue this morning of fatigue. But first, I just want to run a short video.
With the Canterbury Rebuild, we've got a huge job ahead of us.
And one of the most important things about that job is getting everyone home safely every day.
The Canterbury Rebuild Safety Charter is about coming together as a team to prevent injuries.
There's no I in team. Hey, lads.
There's no I in team.
There's no I in team,
But there's an I in injury.
And any injury is one injury too many.
Working safely is about covering each other's backs.
And it's not just one person's responsibility.
It's not just up to the bosses.
And it's not just up to the workers.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
From the top.
Right to the bottom.
What I like about the Charter is that the companies that normally compete with each other are now collaborating. Really, it's the commitment of everybody that's going to make this thing work.
If you said that you didn't worry about safety, I think you shouldn't be on the site.
Yeah, safety on site is paramount for us.
It's a culture.
Over 100 organisations have committed to the Canterbury Rebuild Safety Charter.
We only partner with people that buy into safety and want to be part of the solution.
Whether they're our competitors, suppliers or subcontractors. It's simple.
Real simple.
Real simple.
Real simple.
We put in systems that help identify risk and prevent injury.
And we share our information.
The Canterbury Rebuild Safety Charter is industry-led.
And government supported with funding from WorkSafe New Zealand.
And ACC.
And the combined trade unions are right behind it.
I love the work. I love the fact that I'm rebuilding Christchurch.
I came over here for a new challenge. This is definitely the place for it.
It's nice to know you're helping out and putting in a bit of effort.
You know, feel like I'm making a difference.
We want you to become part of a great team and a legacy of safety we can all be proud of.
We're doing important work in Christchurch.
But the most important part of that job
It's getting home safely every day. Hey, darling. Hey.
Come and be part of the Canterbury Rebuild Safety Charter. Together we'll rebuild Canterbury safely.
So as you've heard in the video, the Safety Charter is an agreement on health and safety between leaders in the rebuild from the construction industry, both the organisation representatives and the trade union representatives, the insurance sectors, and of course from the government. The slide here identifies the 10 key areas that each signatory signs up to and commits to focusing on to help us achieve a safe rebuild in Canterbury. Our vision at the Canterbury Rebuild Safety Charter is that by demonstrating leadership and working together, we will rebuild Canterbury safely and create a legacy that we can all be proud of. So who's involved? There's a senior Canterbury Senior Leaders Steering Group, which is chaired by Graham Darlow from Fletcher. There's 3 working groups: a communications working group, a leadership working group, and a performance working group. And each of those working groups has got a number of pieces of work that we're working on, and we're moving fairly well together to achieve what we're looking for. As Catherine said, we've now got about 100 signatories. In fact, we had our 100th signatory celebrated earlier this month. The organisation's representative go from large government organisations, large construction organisations, to quite small businesses. And everyone's coming on board with the same desire, and that's to keep their people safe. In the near future, we've got some best practice guidelines on leadership coming out. We'll soon be launching a communications campaign for those working as signatory organisations about keeping safe around critical risks. So we're doing a fair bit. So the Safety Charter Self-Awareness Tool effectively is a survey that we undertake. Each organisation that's signed up undertakes a bit of a self-assessment, and it enables us to assess our performance against those 10 commitments that were identified earlier. It also provides a tool that the Performance Steering Group can use to just have a look at what the industry are saying and identify areas that we can work on. And you'll see in a second that right now fatigue has been identified as an area we need to think about. It's also, I think, unique in that it's an opportunity for a whole lot of players across the organisations and the industries to share their information and their statistics, which is really useful for all of us. So data from the assessment is collated by an independent risk management company called Navigatus, who actually manage the tool that's been created. It's shared in aggregate, so independent companies' information is protected. It's a unique tool, and we think it's quite exciting. So what's it actually telling us? So let's have a look. Here's some results from the last series of assessments, and we've had about 85, Catherine tells me, assessments done now, and there's still some of the recent signatories who are undertaking their self-assessment as we go. One thing we stress to the signatories is that we don't expect 100% compliance. We know that we're on a journey and people at different stages of development, and really what we want people to do is realistically assess where they're going, how they're performing, what their skill sets are, so that they can identify where they need to improve, and we can also help them by identifying some of those things too. So if we have a look at this chart here, the green areas identify areas that the signatories think they're doing well in or they've got under control. Blue is where they're developing capability, and the pink areas identify sections where they need some support. You probably can't read what's down there on the bottom, but the pink areas here that stand out are telling us that support is needed in the commitments of impairment, which includes drugs, alcohol, and fatigue. So if we drill down into the independent questions within that particular commitment area, you can see, once again, there's a whole lot of bands of pink, which are telling us that in these specific areas, or in response to these specific questions, people are needing help. These questions include, does the organisation have a fatigue management plan? I mean, all of you guys will know whether you actually have a plan on how you manage fatigue for your workers in your business. And if I asked you to put your hand up, we probably all would be surprised. Does fatigue management plan recognise fatigue as a potential hazard? Has the plan been discussed with all your people? Is there a fatigue management plan which identifies possible work risks that may cause fatigue? Does the plan identify where fatigue-related impairment may cause safety risks? Is information provided to all staff on fatigue management, such as posters, toolbox, torch, etc.? And does fatigue management plan ensure that appropriate counselling services are available to all staff? So this chart breaks down those results on impairment by discipline, really. So we've got commercial construction, government organisations, group and home builders, horizontal infrastructure, insurers, labour only, PMOs and support organisations. And it's clear from this chart, you can see there's a lot of pink. And in particular, the group and home builders have identified that they do need support around impairment, including fatigue. Yeah. Overall, the self-assessment results, we've picked up the 10 most significant areas that people want help with, and the top 7 of those 10 talk about impairment. The results speak for themselves, really. We know that fatigue is an issue in Canterbury and in construction, but many of you are saying that you don't have the tools or the support to manage fatigue within your business effectively. This is where WorkSafe have come in, and as Catherine described, today they've brought together a range of experts on fatigue management. There's talk about sleep science, there's legal reviews, there's all sorts of people talking to you today. Hopefully this will help us start to identify things that we can do differently and how we can improve our performance in these areas. I hope that this brief talk has given you a bit of a clue about why the Safety Charter feels that fatigue is important. But also I just wanted to grab a few minutes while I've got you all here as a captive audience and just wanted to speak to you about the Rebuild Safety Charter. The reality is we've got 100 or so signatories at the moment, but we want more than that. The reality is we would like every organisation involved in the rebuild, whether a supplier, a government agency, a constructor, a designer, we'd like everyone involved in this rebuild, because with your involvement and your input, it's going to give us better understanding of the areas that we and WorkSafe can support you as the industry. So if you want to know more about the Charter, there's obviously a website up there, or you can see I'm tech savvy, or there's some hand copies down on one of the tables down the back. Kate, is that right? There's some stuff down at the back. So I would encourage you, please get involved. If you're not involved, ask your management or your owner of your business, whoever, to think seriously about getting involved. It doesn't cost anything, and what it does is just provide another step in the pathway of us making sure we protect our people and make sure everyone gets home safely during the rebuild. Hope you have a great day today, and yeah, enjoy yourselves. Cheers.